Vietnam. Name the reference. Podcast. Yeah. Anyways, good afternoon, evening, good evening, good evening. Believe me if you don't, peoples. What can we call you? Like, you know, you have Floridians and South Carolinians and Californians. What can the Believe Me If You Don't podcast people be referred to as?
Believe Me If You Don't Ians.
Yep, the Believe Me If You Don't Ians. Thank you again for joining us on the wonderful episode, the wonderful podcast that we call Believe Me If You Don't podcast. It's been a while. Sorry. I don't know how to talk. Words are hard. Yeah, we're back. Mainly nobody, because no one is in the channel besides me and Craig. And then to my left is the one and only Jaden.
Hello.
Yes, she is right beside me. We will be recording on the same microphone. It is genius in 2024 of how we're going to do this. Tonight, I hate when people say today and it's dark outside and they have to say good morning and good evening and stuff like that. And just look outside and you'll notice.
When people are going to
Yeah, you're right. Well, for us, it is the nighttime. The sun has gone down. It is past 5 o'clock somewhere. So, yes, tonight on this episode, we're going to talk about our Disney trip, Disney World in the Floridians, because Disneyland just overrated. Maybe we'll go one day. We'll see. Probably not. I'd rather go to like Disney Euro or whatever it is.
Disneyland Paris?
Yeah, Disneyland Paris. Or even the Shanghai one. Or any of the Asian ones, I think would be pretty cool to go to besides California. Disneyland is just, no. Anyways, we're going to talk about that tonight. It was Jaden and I, the child, our child, and Jaden's family and her sister's significant other that went on this trip. This is my third trip to Disney World with them. So, yes.
Second full trip, but the third time you've been.
Yes.
On property.
Do you have a count of how many times you've been?
Oh, God. Well, if you're counting every single time I was on Disney property, it's over 100.
Jesus.
Probably because I worked there.
No, that doesn't count.
Okay, well then.
Talk about actual trips and not each park. Like, I'm just... Every time you went to a park,
trips?
Whether it was one park or 4 parks, how many trips?
It's probably close to 15.
Okay. Yeah, I did not know what I was getting into when I got into this family and didn't know that they were the Disney family. But it's been cool to actually go experience the quote-unquote happiest place on Earth. Maybe the most expensive place on Earth. But
it's the most magical place.
Same thing. Yeah,
no,
I thought they say the happiest.
Disney World is the most magical place. Disneyland is the happiest. I'm pretty sure.
Doesn't matter. But yeah, this was we're still a little Magic Kingdom.
Yeah,
Disneyland is happiest place.
Tagline of Disneyland is the happiest place on Earth. The tagline for Magic Kingdom and Disney World is the most magical.
Right. Anyways, it was pretty happy, but pretty expensive. So if you don't have a small loan to take out, I don't advise you going there. But yeah, we're going to talk about that. We basically went down
On the 30th.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And had a chill day when we finally got there after 30 hours taken to get there, what it seemed like. Let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. It is not advised. I'll repeat, it is not advised to take a 4-month-old. Maybe it is.
During a semi-sleep regression.
And a very scheduled baby.
Yeah, super scheduled baby and teething.
Yes, so it was a combination of the trifecta and everything. But we did end up actually making it there.
Yes,
so.
After 16 hours in the car. We literally left our house at 4:30 in the morning. We didn't get there until almost 7:30, right?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
It was
and we're not even going to say what state we went from. Just take that into account. It took 16 hours. And I'll let you go around America see how.
It takes us from the state we live in 8 hours to drive there.
That's straight though.
Stopping. But we normally can do it in 9.5 or 10.
Yeah.
16 hours.
Yeah. So
it was so great.
It was the best ever on the way down there. But yeah, we ended up making it down there. Very first trip, I think we got or at least it felt like to me, I got a single rest day, and then they went straight ham walking. Oh my God, I haven't done this much walking or exercise in all the years of playing sports or just in general recreational sports or anything. It doesn't even compare. I was not prepared the first time that they took me down there. And this one, I will say, was much better. So how so? We took it a lot easier. A lot easier, and we did miss out on a few things, which we'll talk about. But I felt like majority of the things that we wanted to do in terms of getting to eat at certain places and try different snacks and drinks and do rides, we done majority of them. So it's not like the fact we just sat around because we had a child and we just chilled. But for the most part, we got everything that we wanted to do. So
here's a hack. If you're bringing an infant to Disney, bring the grandparent, because we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, definitely bring some help, to say the least. But I wish I don't have a watch, but I would hate to see how many steps we ended up accumulating. So
I had 22,000 one day, and I walked like 8.5 miles.
Jesus. You know what? Like I RIP to Walt and everything, and maybe it wasn't his vision at all either. But the one thing I can say, besides the obvious things for Disney World of lowering your prices and shit like that, but for the love of Jesus, why can't y'all put some benches in or some kind of something to sit down on when you're standing in your long ass lines for your rides that are going to last 4 minutes? That could be my number one thing. If you never lower your prices, you know what? That's fine. We'll adjust in terms of budgeting. But just put some seating in those lines for the love of Abraham Lincoln. You know, I don't understand how hard it is to build a bench in the lines being multi-billion. That's right, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. Build some freaking benches.
Okay, and we're moving on.
Yes, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna start with the parks. How we, from the first one to the last one, we went to all 4 parks in Disney World. So we'll start with the first one, which was Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom. I have yet to decide what I've only been 3 times and only to Animal Kingdom twice now, but it's hard to decide which order they go best in, because the first trip we had Animal Kingdom last. This trip we had Animal Kingdom first. So it depends on how you want your vacation to go, I think, because Animal Kingdom is the most chill one, and there's only, in my opinion, there's only so many things you can do in it. So if you want to end chill, I think it's a great option at the end. And if you want to ease into your trip, start with Animal Kingdom. I think anywhere in the middle, it just doesn't make sense.
Get behind that.
So, but yeah, we started with Animal Kingdom. Always, I think the best. Obviously, I'm not a pro or anything going Disney World and stuff, but try to go on the safari right at the morning, because it seems like the animals are a lot more interactive and whatnot. So, and with him, the child, he was actually awake for this, and it was really neat to see, because he's still he could see, but I don't think he can fully recognize everything yet. But the animals were close enough where he could see them, and it was just cool to see his face look at some of these animals. I think the closest one we got to was a rhino, and he just watched it walk by. I don't think he could really see the lion, but
yeah, he was amazed by these things, and I don't know, it was really cool, as a parent and as an adult, to see that in him, because I feel like a lot of the times, I know I do, I take it for granted that all these, I don't want to get emotional, but I take it for granted that all these amazing creatures that God put on the earth, we just are okay, cool, it's a rhino.
Well, I think we were so used to going to so many zoos growing up. You see them all the time.
But I think there's something so special about seeing him experience that for the very first time. Oh my God, these are different creatures that move. You know what I'm saying? These aren't just pictures in a book that my parents read.
Yeah.
So it
was definitely a different perspective, but also, oh my God, I'm sorry. But yeah, the safari was awesome to start off the day. What was next? I don't remember.
Just super chilled in Animal Kingdom. He couldn't ride. He could only ride the safari ride, and that's it. Oh. Yeah, and then so we did some snacking and some riding, and then around lunchtime we wanted to go see the Finding Nemo show, and I legit cried so many times, because he had his first magical moment. And if you've ever been to Disney and you have had a magical moment, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, when the cast members just make something happen for you that you weren't expecting. So we get into line probably 20 minutes before the show starts. We're about to go sit in the normal standby line, And this cast member comes running up to me and he's like, "Hey guys, are you my party of 5?" And I was like, "Oh, there's actually 6 of us." And he's like, "Oh, okay, well, come on this way. I need you to go see my friend, like, Delaney." And Delaney, if you're listening to this, then shout out to you and your awesome cast members. And so we go up there and she's like, "Oh, we saw our little fish friend and we wanted to make a magical moment for him." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." So we had so anyway, we had the baby in a like Nemo onesie. And so they were like, "Oh yeah, we saw our little fish friend. We want to make a magical moment." They walked us to the front of the like theater, right in front of the stage, and he just got to see everything. He was so mesmerized. It was amazing. I cried a few times, but it was great. So that was the best. That was the best part of my entire trip, was getting to see that on him. And now the Finding Nemo, the Big Blue and Beyond show, like, has a really special place in my heart, and the movie is gonna just be like a new fave in the house.
Yeah, hopefully it remains relevant in the next 10 years. I don't think they'll do anything with the franchises, but it'll be cool to show him that and just talk about that. But overall, it was a good show too. He loved it because there's light and stuff, so he could follow.
So alert the whole time. He didn't cry. He sat in my lap and just stared the whole time. It was so cute.
That was one of the surprising things. I don't think he cried or got super fussy in any of the shows or rides that he went on. It wasn't a lot, but
it's because he's the best baby.
Yes. He's pretty good. But yeah, Animal Kingdom, the only other thing that we really did was, obviously we can never leave out the Avatar ride.
Yeah.
It honestly is one of the best, I say ride, but if you've been to Disney, they have things called experiences and whatnot. They're not rides per se. I will say that the Pandora one, or the Avatar one, is definitely one of the best experiences. Even doing it 2 times now, it's still amazing. So if you ever get to go to Animal Kingdom, absolutely go. Not on the stupid boat ride, but the real one.
Don't go on Na'vi River Journey. It's not fun.
Yeah, like they could do so much more. Honestly, they could do so much more with many of their experiences, not their rides per se, but their experiences. I believe they should be able to change them up every single year. Like if they have a software,
about like the 4D rides that you're calling experiences.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, they're clearly ran off of software. You should be able to change it up every few years and not make it seem stale, because like I'm getting one of those Golden Globe things where it says wrap it up. Anyways, it's wonderful. Do that one. Animal Kingdom has some awesome foods and snacks. So just make sure if you're at Disney, any of the parks, you're going for both the rides / experiences and the food items. So moving on to next one that we went to was Hollywood Studios. If you know anything about Hollywood Studios, it has some of the more sought after rides / experiences, and like the Star Wars is there, like their little Star Wars place called Galaxy's Edge, or Batuu.
Batuu's the planet, yeah.
Yeah, so that's always neat to go. Her father, my father-in-law, he actually got to do a cool experience and build his own lightsaber. We weren't in there with him, but it was his other daughter. And it sounded like that was an awesome experience. Jaden did want to possibly do it for me, but I think if he, the child, grows up enjoying Star Wars, then we will go back and do that with him eventually, and that'll be something, just to have. So, but I'm glad that he got to do it. He's a super Star Wars nerd, so he loves that, and I'm sure he absolutely enjoyed that. Unfortunately, I did not get to ride Rise, the best Star Wars.
Yeah, because Charlie was the best dad and forfeited his evening in Hollywood Studios to take the baby back and bathe him, feed him, and put him to bed so that I could stay in Hollywood Studios and have like a little night out. So, yeah, sorry.
It's totally fine. I got to ride Rock and Roll Roller Coaster, which is themed after Aerosmith. It is, I assume, the fastest coaster on Disney World property. If you've ridden it,
it's not.
You don't. What is the fastest?
Actually, surprisingly enough, Test Track at Epcot.
Oh my god!
No, I'm serious. It gets up to 68 miles per hour.
Ooh, okay. Well, it doesn't beat the Takeoff. Really?
Yes, because it only, I think, Rock and Roller Coaster only goes to 60 miles per hour. Stand by. We're gonna look it up.
Even the Takeoff, though.
Yes, it goes 0 to 60.
Please hold. We'll play some cool music in the background. Probably gonna get demacked from this. Oh, Tron is now in the Rock and Roll. Wow,
hold on, though,
where's Test Track?
Test Track does go to 68 miles per hour. But
is it considered a
coaster? No.
That's why then.
Did you look it up? Did you look it up based on coaster?
I just said fastest ride. Test Track is the fastest attraction.
Yeah, 65 miles per hour.
Okay.
Yeah, Rock and Roller Coaster only goes to 57.
Anyways, Test Track is cool though. Last time we didn't get to ride that. That's not anything special, I don't think. But you do get to build like your own version of a car, and if you're, I think, decent with, does it really affect it anything?
Yes, it does.
It actually does.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were an engineer and you could build aerodynamics and stuff. Ours won last time, remember?
Yes,
it did. Bam. That's all those years building Legos and stuff. No, sorry,
anyway,
not Legos. Need for Speed. Yes, Hollywood Studios. I got to ride Rock and Roller Coaster with her sister's significant other. We stood in line for 90 minutes. Oh my god, I hate. Okay. I think that was the only one that I got to stand or had to stand in line for. No. What did we stand for Tron? Was it 90 minutes?
It was like an hour and
it
was at least 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But that was
that's still not as long as we stood in the line for Rise, maybe.
The first time we
went? Yeah, it was like at least 3 hours.
2 hours.
It was at least 3, it felt like, guys. Once again, going back to it, owners of Disney World properties, please put benches.
They did, though, in Rise of the Resistance. There is little tiny like benches in the queue.
Yeah, anyway, not on the outside one where you have to stand in line. But anyways, yes, moving on. He actually did get to ride one of, I feel like, our new favorite rides in the Mickey Runaway Railroad.
Yes, it's so fun.
It is absolutely innovative, and it is just overall fun.
It's really cute.
So I think he also enjoyed that. Once again, anything with lights right now, he is going to enjoy.
Yeah, really. Anything that is a different experience than being in the stroller, he was all about. So
yeah, he was not a fan of being in there. He's definitely one of those. He's a people watcher right now.
Yeah. He's really into his nosy phase right now, where he really just wants to be a part of everybody else's life. But he also, this is so off topic, but he also gets really interested in watching people eat now. So like when people would stand by his stroller and and people were eating, he would like stare at them and start drooling, and it was just so funny.
Yeah, that milk not be hitting right anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
If you do, by the way, go to Hollywood Studios, cool hack. Before you, or as soon as you get into the park and you feel like you are going to want a cool snack or food, hit up Woody's Lunchbox, but do it on the app, and you can have it ready when you pull up there in the middle of the day. And if you aren't hungry then, you just push it back. It's really cool. Their brisket, grilled cheese, or whatever it is.
Pulled pork, grilled. It didn't have cheese on it. It was a brisket sandwich.
Oh, just brisket sandwich. It's awesome. Just get that. Anything else you want to say about Hollywood?
Well, after Charlie left, we did like a speed round of everything, and it was honestly the most intense situation that I have ever been in, but it was so fun. We had reservations at Oga's Cantina, which is like a little Star Wars bar that's like really hard to get into, but my sister made reservations there, so we went. We also wanted to do Fantasmic, which is a nighttime spectacular there, and then we also wanted to ride Rise of the Resistance before the park closed. Well, all that happened within 2 hours of park closing. So we got into Oga's, drank these really intense alcoholic beverages in like 10 minutes, ran across the park to watch the show, ran back across the park to get in line. So it was a really fun night, but thank God we did a rest day after this, because I don't think I would have made it. We didn't get home back to the Airbnb until like almost 11.
Yeah, and my ass, once he went to bed, was in bed. Yeah. Let's
I get a text from Charlie when I'm still in the park. He's like, I'm going to bed. Good night. I was like,
okay. Bruh, I be trying. That's what I was honestly hoping for this trip, was to get more sleep, because I knew, because last time, since they went ham, that my first time,
we did park open to park close every single night. The first time we took Charlie, and it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot of fun, but it
was absolutely fun. But it was literally wake up at 6 or whatever, get ready, go to the park, open it up, shut it down, get back to the place by 10, go to sleep, and then repeat. But this time I was hoping, since we had a child, we would just leave a little bit early and not close them down. But since, like as we mentioned earlier, he's a very scheduled child, so he does not fare well when his schedule is thrown off. So a couple nights we forfeited our night routine, and I think he was just not too happy about that. But we made it work.
One night we really forfeited his routine. The other nights they might have been later, but it was really only like an hour later. I mean, he was still pissed about it, but
yeah,
we made it work.
Yeah, like she said, we took a rest day, and then for our third park, we went to Magic Kingdom, which obviously, if you know anything about Magic Kingdom, is the biggest one for children's. He can
ride like so many rides in there because there's no height restriction, so that was really fun. We didn't do like all the rides that he could have done, just because like there's not enough time in the day to do all of that and make sure he takes adequate amount of stroller naps. But yeah, so he did like,
our first one was Pirates of the Caribbean.
No,
wasn't it our first ride with him?
Oh, okay, there in the park? Yeah. Sorry, it was Pirates, and then we did Jingle Cruise, and then we did, what else did we do with him? Oh, we did Journey Under the Sea with the Little Mermaid, Haunted Mansion. Is that all he rode?
I think
so.
We didn't get to do the the Pooh one or whatever.
Yeah, we did have like fast passes for Winnie the Pooh, but we just forfeited them so we Tron twice, which was
Yes.
amazing.
So for us adults, our most not anticipated, but one of the most anticipated things that we wanted to do on this trip was in Magic Kingdom ride the newest ride, Tron. It's obviously themed after the franchise Tron, that 80s movie, but the reboot that Disney did like 3 years ago. It's been forever since I've even watched the oldest Tron. I don't think I watched the latest one, the Disney movie, but if you know anything about it, they're racing on light cycle bikes and stuff. But the whole queue, it was pretty neat, and you could see the track actually as you're walking in the queue line and stuff, which was really awesome. And it had the music of it, and basically when you're walking in, they had like an announcer saying that, you know, who are you? Are you a winner or are you a loser type deal? And I will say the first time we rode it, I was absolutely amazed with it. It was awesome. The only downside to it is a literal 60-second ride.
It's 90 seconds.
90, whatever. It's short.
Yeah, it is a short.
It is 90-second ride for what is going to be for the foreseeable future at least an hour and a half to 2 hour wait.
And that's after you get a virtual queue. So after you've already waited.
Yeah.
You know,
so there's literally only 2 ways to ride this ride. You either get in the virtual queue by just signing in. If you're lucky. By the way, it started at 7:00. They were out of the queue by not even 7:01.
7:04, I think, is when they closed the queue.
Yeah, 4 minutes. And you're talking about thousands of people go through this park on each given day. And in 4 minutes, the first virtual queue was gone. And if you can't just walk up, and you either have to pay extra because that's convenient for the billion-dollar company once again, or you get in their virtual queue. So I think both of those ways are wrong, to say the least, but we won't, go down that rabbit hole. But overall, it is, if you can get a fast pass for this, then absolutely ride it one time. And if you can get a virtual queue and you don't mind waiting for an hour and a half, absolutely ride it 2 times. But it really felt like if you have a pass, if you're a pass holder and you're going to stay in Magic Kingdom for the majority of the day and keep riding Tron somehow, it felt diminished every single. It feels like it's going to be diminished every single time because of how short it is and how long you have to wait. In my opinion, I think they could really turn it into some really cool things by making it an actual race. But I understand that they built this thing and they're probably never going to do this. So my idea is clearly stupid. What is your thoughts on Tron?
I thought it was good. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It took them 6 years to build this 90-second ride. And I think it is a great coaster, don't get me wrong. And I think everyone should experience it at least once. If you ask me if I'm going to wait 2 hours for this ride again, the answer is probably no.
Yeah. Which sucks because Tron, I feel like, is a really cool franchise and whatnot, but we'll see how they go forward.
Well, really fast, just to recap Magic Kingdom. It was really fun to experience the nostalgic rides and so many cool memories that I have with my son. And so just getting to ride like Pirates of the Caribbean. I know people are like, oh my gosh, this ride is so stupid. Why do people love it? It's just nostalgic. That's what it is. And so it was really fun too. Like my dad's favorite ride in Magic Kingdom is the Haunted Mansion. So he actually took the baby on that one, and they got to like have some special time together on that ride, which was really fun. So yeah.
But yeah, we also stayed. That's the night that we kind of forfeited his nighttime routine, and we stayed
And
and
I
did.
was scared. I was scared. He was absolutely losing his mind like 20 minutes before the fireworks show, and I was like, oh my god, he's not gonna make it through this. Like, we're gonna have to leave. And again, he's the perfect baby, and he's not the perfect baby, but he's pretty dang close. But he knocked out right before the show started, put his little headphones on. We got him all cozy cuddled up in the stroller, and he slept through the entire fireworks show like a champ.
Yes, it was actually interesting. I did not think he could, even with headphones on, he could sleep through their massive fireworks show. But he ended up doing that. And the show is always awesome. So if you ever get to stay for one of the two fireworks shows at Magic Kingdom, by all means, do it. Forfeit a little time that night. It's awesome. Then, so our last park was Epcot. This one was the one I was most looking forward to because they have a new ride / experience, whatever you want to call it.
It's a coaster.
Coaster. Guardians of the Galaxy. But we won't get there yet. Of course, when you go to Epcot, it's not for the rides, really. It's to experience the different cultures and drink around the world. Let's just go ahead and say it. If you're an adult.
I mean, that's the other thing. It's not just drinking around the world. It's eating around the world.
It is also
want to
that
have
too.
the snacks, you know?
Yeah.
The beer with the pretzels and, you know, I don't know, just delicious.
I feel like their at least tradition is always to go to start at Canada and work their way around.
Which is not. This is very controversial information you're sharing on the internet.
Why?
Charles. Because everyone says to start in Mexico or you're wrong. We have always started in Canada. I don't know why. We have always started in Canada and ended in Mexico. So that's what we did again, and it's fine.
You go from Canada, they always get their Canadian drink and stuff like that. I forget what it was, but it was pretty.
Ottawa Apple.
It was pretty good. But then the next one is England,
the
UK, and the most traditional thing there, at least for them,
fish and chips,
is the fish and chips, and it's actually really good. So, and then,
oh my gosh, and then, sorry, I just got so excited because I remembered that we're in the UK. We had our fish and chips. The women went to the tea shop. We were like shopping. The baby was getting a little frustrated, so I was trying to feed him / put him down for a nap in the stroller. And then my sister and my sister's boyfriend come out, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, Jaden, the like Pooh is back here meeting." And I was like, "What?" So I grabbed the baby. We go back there, and he met Pooh Bear. And it was so sweet. He like reached his hand out for Pooh Bear, and like Pooh like tickled him. Oh my god, it was so cute. It was so cute.
It was so cute, guys.
Shut up. You like it too.
It was neat. And then we moved on to France. Right? Is that what's next?
Yes.
After
France,
UK?
then Italy, yeah.
Yeah, so France, obviously the big thing for France is for as far as like food and drink item is the wine. I think they had some wine and whatnot. Continued down the path. We ended up in Italy. Was it Italy or Morocco?
I don't really remember how.
Anyway, yes, Italy. No, it was Morocco because y'all went back to Italy. Remember?
They all just
Morocco. They tried some. It's not baklava, but
yeah,
it was baklava.
Baklava and some fig. The fig cocktail was there.
Yeah,
just like a mezcal mule.
Very minty.
Yeah, it was really good.
Next one was Japan.
Wait. We went.
You go to Morocco and then Japan, right? And then America?
Okay, yes.
Yeah. I went to Japan, honestly, because it's funny. I've never seen Pokemon cards in any Disney World property or whatever. And the Japan culture in Epcot, they actually sell Pokemon cards.
In the big,
in their big store and stuff. Expensive as shit, obviously, because it's Disney World and they got to jack up more prices because it makes more sense to do that. $1 billion company, by the way, multi. But I didn't get any. Then we moved on to America, and oddly enough, this family dislikes America.
No.
The culture in Epcot, not America.
We have always skipped America because we
what you're gonna get
there.
It's
fair
food
down the street for half the price. But my dumb AWS wanted to try this new smokehouse that I was like had heard about, was so good, blah blah. And don't get me wrong, it was good. However,
it was pretty good.
The next time I will definitely be doing the hack where as soon as you walk into the park, you schedule your meal for a certain time, because I waited in, how long was I in there?
At least
Probably
an
hour. An hour.
It was
a sandwich.
It was chaos.
A sandwich and some freaking fries with barbecue on it. No, it was good. Don't get me wrong. I would probably eat there again.
It was pretty banging.
And the moonshine sour in America was pretty top notch. However, the system was chaotic. But anyway, I'm not going to go there. We ate that. Then we left the baby and we went to go ride Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
Guys.
Can we just go through, what did you think was going to happen? You thought...
I really thought that Guardians was going to be another thing like Rise of the Resistance, where they have this trackless thing. You just move.
Not a coaster.
Yes, not at all.
Okay.
And Jaden and her sister, they had previously rode it on their trip, and they were like, this is awesome. I can't wait for y'all to experience this. And if you've heard, I think we've talked about it a couple times on this podcast, but I love the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. It is, I think, propelled itself to possibly at least 2, if not 1, in terms of Marvel trilogies for me. And after doing this ride, before I describe it, it's absolutely hands down the number 1 franchise for me in trilogy. In characters and whatnot, that it's just awesome. So we get in the line and go through. Obviously, when you're walking up, there's a I can't remember the name of the actual ship now, but it's, if you remember the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, I guess this is also a little bit of spoilers if you haven't been to the ride or watched the movies and whatnot, but who cares? But it's one of the ships from the Nova Corps when they're battling the Kree and whatnot, or Ronin. So it's out front, but you walk in, the whole queue, there's this projection on the ceiling talking about the Terrans, or what they called the Terrans. It's Earth, where Peter Quill came from and whatnot. It was awesome to listen to that, going through the queue. It had some glass cases of all the Nova Corps and I can't remember the name of the freaking planet now. It's not. What is it? I literally was thinking about it in my head during the entire time. Nova Core Planet. What is freaking? Hold on, guys. 2 seconds, please. I can't type. Zendarians. Yep. But yeah, as the Glass Cases have some things that are on Zendar and whatnot, but then we finally get to like right before the loading, and I don't know if you noticed, but when you're walking into the big like chamber type thing, I'm pretty sure that is modeled after when they're in the prison and they are trying to break out and Rocket has to rig it and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's modeled after that. I think that's what it looked like to me. But I see we're in the area we're actually loading, and you could see where people are getting into something, and it looks like not little pods because they were broken up into 4 seats, but they were separated, but it was a long train-ish of like 4. I think I counted 20 people could be on there, so there's 5 of them.
Had like different separate cars.
Yes, cars.
Like 4 people. Yeah.
So, and I was like, oh wow, so maybe it is a coaster. Or in my actual thinking was, okay, it looks like a coaster, but they're actually going to end up breaking off, and you would do a rise type thing where you become trackless and you just go off in your little separate rooms. But we finally get in. Oh my god, guys. I guess we should also talk about the whole before. So if you've ever been on a Disney experience like that, you have your normal queue leading up to a pre-show. And the pre-show was awesome because I had Terry Crews. He was a Zendarian. I can't remember which rank he was, but he's leading you through this whole thing of the Cosmic Rewind. And the Nova Prime she's talking about, this new technology that they have allows them to jump. Transport or jump. And if you've watched Captain Marvel too, you would know about the whole jumping thing. But it ends up getting stolen by a Celestial. That, when I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, that's a Celestial right there. I don't know which one it was. Because I don't think they don't really exactly talk about their names and stuff. But he ends up stealing the cosmic fusion or whatever it was called. And so, yeah, that goes to the whole pre-show, and then you get to the loading dock and whatnot. So we finally we're getting in the cart, and I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be awesome. You go around the corner and stuff, and you go, and there's a big screen, and the Guardians are talking about it and stuff like that.
They're talking about sending you through the jump point.
And everything goes black. And then...
No, wait. You missed the best part. So you go through, and they're like lining you up to go to the jump point. Well, then each car, this is also spoiler alert, so if you do not want to know and have not ridden this ride, please stop listening right now. Okay. The cars on the coaster actually turn. So we were in the very back, and then each car turned, like did a full 180. So we ended up being in the front. Well, then it ended up being a backwards launch. So we got like shot out backwards, which I totally forgot about until we were literally doing it.
It was freaking awesome because I don't know what it is about riding a coaster that for whatever reason goes backwards is a completely different feeling. And there's only two now that does that. Everest, which is a whole thing, but this one was an experience and going backwards. Oh my god, guys.
it wasn't just that it went backwards. You go backwards, and then once you go through, your car is like turning the whole time. So it's like turning back and forth and shaking. Like, it is the most incredible technology I have ever experienced in my entire life. It is the best, in my opinion, ride on Disney property to date. And every time I ride it, I'm more and more amazed about the fact that this is a thing.
Yeah, because so I feel like it combined a lot of things. It combined the experience like Rise and whatnot with the whole storytelling, but also because it was very dark in there, it reminded me of Space Mountain.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going, but it was lit up enough, and they had things for you to look at during the ride itself.
Like screens.
Screens.
Like
there was a planet in the freaking middle.
Yeah.
It was absolutely, hands down, the best ride. Whoever wants to, say otherwise, it is the best ride on Disney World property by far, because of the combining of it being a coaster and a fast one at what because how fast did it say it went? 50?
50, yeah. 50.
So it's like second or third on Disney World property. So not only are you going fast, your cart is moving, there's a show, it was absolutely spectacular. And it was like 3 times the length of Tron. So, it wasn't just a quick show or a quick ride or whatever. It was actual good amount of time being on that coaster. So, hands down, the best. I will continue to ride that till it closes every time we go back. And if we ever go back to only do one park, it'll be obviously competing with Magic Kingdom due to the child. So we'll throw in a second one, and it'll always be Epcot for me.
Yeah, I mean, I love Epcot. It's one of my favorite. I mean, that's where I did my.
Obviously, before this, I would have said Hollywood Studios would always be my number 1 or number 2 to go to. But now, because of Guardians,
see, that's why we just have to go to every park.
Yeah. But if you can, and if you choose to go to Epcot, by all means, try to get on Guardians. I think it works exactly like Tron. It's either a virtual queue or Fast Pass.
Also, we tried to buy a Fast Pass for this, and they sold out in literally seconds.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So whenever it sucks for the people who are just going to Disney World the first time and casually don't know anything about it, how it works. Obviously, Disney could do a lot better at explaining things, but it's whatever. It's amazing. Some other cool. You didn't even get to mention at Epcot. He got to meet Mickey.
Oh yeah. Yes, we broke off from the group at the beginning of the day, and we met Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, and we met Figment. And that was super exciting for me because Figment has never been a meet and greet. This is the first year that it has been, and it was amazing. And he loved meeting Mickey and Minnie. He thought that was so fun. We got some good pictures while he was awake. He rode the Finding Nemo ride, but he slept through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good day at Epcot. It was but yeah, it was a good day. Good trip overall.
Yes.
It was the fastest Disney trip I've ever taken in my entire life, I feel like. And I just know it's going to get faster and faster. I keep telling Charlie that every time we go, we need to make it longer and longer till we have like a 14-day vacation, We're hitting every park twice. I think that sounds like a great
Jesus.
idea.
Take 2 weeks of PTO. But yeah, this trip was awesome. Different perspective for us in general, but overall it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was super awesome to experience like my favorite place on the entire planet, really, with my son, and knowing that this is just the beginning of many, many family vacations that we're going to take, not just to Disney, but to everywhere, because this was our first vacation that we took with him. So it was a learning experience for Charlie and I. We learned some great things, what works, what doesn't work, what we're going to have to give up sometimes, but in the long run, it's just all worth it to see the magic in his eyes.
True. So we'll wrap it up now, because obviously I said it was going to be, not even say it was going to be a short episode, but I thought it was going to be. And then the quick little tidbit back home.
Yeah, pro tip. If you're traveling with an infant, I know that this is going to be a hot take and people are going to be like, why the heck would you do that to yourself? You travel at night, because legit, we got home in, it still took us like 9 to 10 hours, I think.
Yeah. 5 to 5.
Huh?
5 to 5. We left at 5.
Okay, yeah. We got home at 4:10 though.
Oh, okay. 5 to 4 then.
Okay. So 10, 11-ish. Anyway, beats 16 hours.
True.
So we literally gave him a bath, put him in the car. We had to stop like an hour down the road and feed him his like dinner bottle. And then he slept the entire time. We got him out every like 2 or 3 hours to just stretch his body and stuff. But it was so good. He slept the whole time. And we didn't get home until 4 a.m. And it was a rough day the next day, but it was.
He literally woke up at 6:45, guys.
Yeah, but Charlie is the real. And since I brought us home and drove the last leg, he got up that morning with him, so I could sleep in.
But yes, that was our Disney trip of 2024 to start the year off. It's gonna be a good year.
We're gonna go back.
Maybe, we'll see. Depends on the money situation. But yes, thank you for listening and continue to listen to our random talks. Obviously, this is mainly a gaming podcast, but we do randomly talk about real life things that come up and our adventures and whatnot. So that's always great for us to express them to you guys. So thank you for listening. And we are in a new year, and I hope everyone had a safe New Year's evening and whatnot. But we will continue to try to have an episode every week and a half or two, whenever we can. Obviously, life gets in the way sometimes, but we'll try to continue to bring y'all episodes to listen to and whatnot. And continue, if you can, leave us some feedback. It doesn't matter if you say we suck, that's fine. But yes, thank you. And we're going to go ahead and end it now. And we're going to get it correctly because there's only 2 of us here. And remember, you can continue
to believe us.
If you do not, good night.